The Egyptian priestess in Ice 9. Interesting. That is a lot of bullshit.
Yeah. And the woman who wouldn't melt, who was recovered from the Titanic disaster. They called her All Ice, which eventually turned into Alice. And she was purchased by an English millionaire who called himself Lord Gordain. According to Seven, the ship is where he hid Alice.
And you think that he hid her in a small room beyond the library on the bottom deck.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is just a theory.
All theories in games are always true 100%
I know.
of the time.
Ace stared off into the distance, his hands slowly and absent-mindedly stroking his beard. After a few moments, his hands stopped, and his beard asked him to continue, so he resumed. He turned slowly to look at Junpei, and his brows drew together.
Junpei, have you ever heard of the term CAS? C-A-S?
C-A-S?
It stands for Cells Alive System. That is very Japanese.
Yeah, it really is.
It is an advanced technology for freezing and preserving organic matter. Put simply, it is a technique that allows one to freeze things without the formation of ice crystals. Normally, if you freeze something fresh, water within its cells expands as it crystallizes, damaging the cell membrane. CAS, however, works differently. The object to be frozen is supercooled using magnetic fields and then frozen instantly and uniformly, giving ice crystals no time to form. It was originally developed for the preservation of food as an alternative to the normal freezing process. Now, however, there are rumors that it can be used for other things, like freezing ancient Egyptian women.
I don't believe that. What do you mean, really?
Well, there are obvious medical uses, but perhaps also space travel.
Space travel? Are you serious?
Surely you've heard of suspended animation, cryogenic freezing?
Of course I have, and don't call me Shirley.
It's a fairly common idea in science fiction books and films, much like this video game. People are sometimes frozen for especially lengthy journeys through space.
That was when Junpei understood what Ace was suggesting. He was talking about that one Chronicles of Riddick movie.
Alice is from space.
I wish. Whoa, wait a minute there. Ace looked at them and raised an eyebrow. Are you saying that Alice was frozen using that CAS thing?
Well, I'm sure the possibility is quite low, but it is a possibility. If this special ice you call Ice 9 does indeed exist, and if CAS were used to freeze her into that sort of ice instantaneously...
You think she could be alive?
Well, I can't say for sure, of course. I'm only talking about possibilities. The melting point for Ice 9 is 96 degrees, right? If she were put somewhere where she could reach that temperature...
That's nuts! Are you really saying she could have defrosted and started walking about? It's terrifying.
You're quite right, it does sound unbelievable.
I really hope the game doesn't do that, because that's way over the top.
Indeed. But if she had, then we would have had an explanation for the man we found dead on the floor.
You mean the guy dressed like a captain?
Yes. He was dead when we found him. Clearly he was murdered. But if he was murdered, then by whom? It couldn't have been one of us. That would be impossible. In order to enter the captain's quarters, one must first open door 1. That door requires the door that requires the Earth key prevented us from accessing door 1. Who was it that opened that door?
Santa and Lotus.
Right. Clearly the two of them could not have opened door 1, or any other door for that matter. Who else then could have done so?
I'm going to double down on Santa and Lotus.
I need to get my notebook again.
Junpei thought for a second. Oh no.
Nobody. Oh yeah, that's...
Nobody. After Santa and Lotus used the Earth key, they turned back and met up with me in June. Then we returned to the large hospital room and found Ace, 7, and Clover. You know, you, 7, and Clover.
You were there, right?
Yeah. While we'd gone to the shower room, Ace, 7, you, 7, and Clover had stayed behind. But it's impossible for those three to open door 1.
Well, let's think about this. So it was Santa and Lotus, so that's 3 and 8, that makes 11.
11.
So to open door 1, they needed 9. Or 2 people adding up to 9.
Yeah, the 9 person died immediately. So
Right,
did anybody... somebody could have taken his bracelet.
6 and 3, 5 and 4.
Well,
So
it can't be 6 and...
Clover,
6 and 3 are taken.
yeah.
Well, 3 is taken.
Clover and Junpei could have done it, but obviously they didn't. So that's pretty much it. Because Snake is dead, or, we thought he was dead.
Yeah.
And Lotus and Ace couldn't have done it because Lotus is accounted for.
Yeah. No, still won't work. We were gone only 5 minutes. No human being could have run to the captain's quarters, killed that guy in there, and run back that fast.
Well, clearly...
What if they weren't human?
An ancient Egyptian human popsicle could have done it, obviously. Stupid.
Stupid.
it would be impossible for any of us to be the murderer. That being the case, who could have killed him? Wouldn't it make sense if his killer was someone who had been in the ship for some time? I understand why this is, like, troublesome, because, you know, the game puts forth the theory that one of the 9 of us is 0, right? So that means that on top of that, since all of us were accounted for the most part, then also there's, like, a crazy Egyptian woman running around, like, killing people.
But even outside that context, like, how do we know this person wasn't dead, like, before the game started? It doesn't have to be one of us at all.
Right. I mean, we don't really have
I said he's already stiff.
We don't have the capacity to do forensics and figure out how long ago he died.
Yeah, I don't know literally how long, but again, it said he's stiff.
I'm surprised, especially since 7 was a cop, that we don't, this hasn't come up and we haven't had, like, a whole forensics thing already.
Yeah.
But he's not here.
With all the other info dumps. Well, maybe...
Then again, though, 7 doesn't necessarily... isn't necessarily in forensics.
Yeah, he might not know anything about it. He might just know a few, like...
In fact, I bet you he isn't, because he's talking perp. He sounds like a cop who would catch a criminal.
Yeah, he sounds like a beat cop. I mean, he was on the operation for the previous...
That's right, yeah.
A person like that would know the ship well. They would know the locations of all the hidden passages and secret doors. The numbered door would mean nothing to someone like that. It would be a simple thing for them to enter the captain's quarters. I mean,
I love the implication that theoretically we don't need to do the puzzles, any of them. We can just find secret doors if we're lucky.
And also that, like, this woman who's, like, frozen on the ship and wakes up would just know everything about how the ship is laid out, having been asleep for...
Well, she was sleeping in it for whoever knows how long.
I mean, do you know, like, all of the layout of your house when you go to bed?
Of course.
Okay.
Well, I wasn't frozen when I was asleep. Then you're saying the killer was Alice? It was Junpei's turn to raise an eyebrow.
Well, look, Junpei, if I believe your stupid theory, then you have to...
Ace drew his thumb across his lips thoughtfully.
Well, this is all only one possible theory. Now, I just wanted to illustrate how stupid you sound.
All ice. Alice. Is she really somewhere on the ship? Makuru Ikusawa, the
16th frozen human
victim, yeah.
hidden somewhere on the ship. Well, there's more than 10 now, right?
Oh, that's right, the 11th victim.
Because now there's
1 through 9, and then there's 0.
There's the captain, there's 0, if 0 is another person, we don't know anything about.
Well, no, that's true,
also
but
the person who exploded, who wasn't actually a snake now.
But wasn't that person 9?
So, there's 1 through 9.
Yeah.
There's
0.
There's 0. There's the corpse of Snake, which we thought was Snake, but is not Snake.
That's true.
There's the man we found dead, and there's Alice. So we're getting pretty close to 16.
Can't wait. The key card in his hand. Junpei only had one clue, the key card in his hand. Maybe this card will give me access to the Forest of Knowledge. Get it because it's paper made of trees?
The library. The library.
That's Lisa, our walking library. And the big mystery. What could be there beyond the Forest of Knowledge? Beneath the navel? Anyway, whatever. It's going to have to wait. I can't do anything right now.
Why is there a library on the bottom deck of the ship? Where, like, all the machinery is?
I'll come back to this later. He gripped hit the key card tighter, and shoved it deep into his pocket.
I would imagine they all just go into the library and Santa's just like, fuck books.
I hate hope. I hate books too. New material.
What that is wrong?
Oh, yeah. But...
Information about Alice. A file found in the communications office. It says all ice on the spine. All the pages are filled with hieroglyphics from ancient Egypt. Oh, I can... Nah, that's it.
Seems important.
Key. I guess was hidden under the red file?
It wasn't really hidden. It was just there.
Ka-chunk.
It was surreptitiously hidden.
Wow, you really have to get square on it.
Yeah. I was! Alright.
There we go.
Unique key. It looks like a replaceable blade on a scalpel or something.
It's like a constellation, too.
Oh, the
studs on the leather.
Yeah,
Maybe it's used to open...
A key with a leather case. It isn't metal. My guess would be ceramic.
Junpei, have you found a keyhole that might fit? I would have if you had let me explore the other room.
A rather unique key. Rather? The tip is square.
The world is square.
Huh. That means if you turn it once, it'll break. Right. Because it's ceramic.
Oh,
Don't
wow.
drop it now.
There are some really stiff ceramics.
Oh, I can't believe
worth
it.
a shot.
You thought it was that.
I mean, maybe there's... I don't know if there's a reason why we would need the Morse code chart again.
Aha! It's an electronic key. What?
They want...
A telegraph key. Okay.
The game is very clearly telling you that it's done.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's it for the drawers.
You can open the drawer even more.
Oof.
Yeah, but there's nothing in it. If I put my hand in front of it, it shows up in the middle top screen back there.
You've got a short lifeline, Junpei.
Hey, mind your own business. Pointing at the exit. Doesn't work. Yeah, perhaps.
You might have to. What about that little electronic box, right?
Oh yeah, well I use the keypad.
There we go. The control panel for the electronic lock. Looks like it's got a keyhole in the bottom right. Maybe the key I got earlier. Sweet. Just had to put that key in and now it's on. And now we got the hexadecimal
look.
thing. Yeah.
There's minus signs on the screen.
Oh my god.
There are 8 of them. That probably means you gotta put in 8 digits.
Do you think you can figure it out?
Figure it
Yeah,
out.
okay.
Alright,
Okay.
so what
So
was
Z
the...
was 37.
8 digits, huh? Once I put in the 8-digit number, I just press E to enter it. And if I mess up, I guess I just press C.
Thanks.
Alright, let's give it a shot. And E was...
E was
15 or 14?
And then R was 20...
27?
Yeah. And then 24, I think.
Go check the chart again.
Is it a good noise or a bad noise?
Apparently bad.
Oh, it's 35, not 37.
Oh, okay. 35, 14, 27, 34.
I apologize to people who are watching this screaming at the 24.
Oh, man. This sucks. Everything sucks.
24.
There we
Lock
go.
open! Yes! First try. It worked.
As far as anybody knows.
Whoa, she actually jumped up and down.
Junpei! Yay! Hooray! Yeah!
Excellent. You seem to have unlocked it, and I didn't say anything to you in
Seem
this room.
to have unlocked.
Good work, Junpei.
Alright, let's go.
What happened to the bracelet?
It's unlocked. Key, it's a keyhole. I don't have any more keys on it. Lock open. Unlocked.
Can we go now?
Yeah, good question about the bracelet. Video camera and tripod.
Yeah, they don't let you examine the body. I think it would be creepy if you had to, like, stare at the body the whole time. Oh!
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I don't know what you're talking about.
This is the best part of the game.
What do you mean?
You found it! Alright, we can all go home.
Oh.
They stepped out of the captain's quarters and into another hallway. The hallway stretched out in front of Junpei for a bit before turning left like a great backward L. Alright, let's go. Junpei rounded the corner and took off down the straightaway. Whoa. He ran. And really? And really? And ran. At the end of the hallway was a door. That's the next door. He made straight for it.
Boom. He ran into it.
You just gonna let him run?
Yeah. Wait, a piece of paper. He was nearly halfway to it when he noticed a piece of paper in the middle of the floor.
Ooh, piece of paper.
Junpei skidded to a
Oh my
halt.
god.
It's fine. Junpei, well, who's his new character? This is... He dropped down to his hands and knees and quickly tore the paper off the floor.
It's Junpei Yokoi, the inventor of the...
Map of the ship's interior for A deck.
A deck.
What's wrong?
A slightly slower by virtue of his advanced age had finally caught up to
Oh, fuck
Junpei. I found a map for this floor. He showed Ace what he snatched from the wall. He looked at it long enough to determine what it was and nodded.
I see.
With that, he began running again past Junpei.
I gotta
Well,
go
see ya.
home.
Yeah.
I've already memorized this map. I
I
have
know.
no use for you anymore.
Well, that was anticlimactic.
What about Clover? You leave her there?
Too bad, forget it. I should keep this, though.
You always keep the maps in your file screen, but you never navigate in the game. You don't
It's
go
it's
anywhere.
completely irrelevant. When I first found the map in this game, I was like, oh, good, but it really doesn't play a part at all.
You can't look at the map at all. I mean,
That's
you should
true.
periodically to be consistent with your idiom. Just open up the file screen and look at the map.
Yeah, I'll see, just to remind me what it looks like. Junpei shoved the map into his pocket and got up to follow Ace. But something stopped him.
Da-dun.
Hey, yeah, where's Clover? He turned around. Clover was nowhere to be seen. Damn it. What the hell is she up to? Junpei muttered angrily under his breath and took off back the way he'd come. Oh boy, she's dead. As he stomped around the corner, he saw her. Oh, jeez. She was standing in front of the door to the captain's quarters, her hand on the doorknob. Clover!
Huh?
As Junpei watched, she closed it, gently and quietly. What the hell are you doing?
Nothing.
Oh my god. What do you mean, nothing? Clover had unconsciously put her hands over the pockets of her jacket as if trying to hide something. What the hell is that? Is this just this thing? The hell all the time?
What?
You got something in your pocket. What is it?
Oh, this.
An
This
axe!
is a note.
A note.
Yeah, I found it in the pocket of the guy with the captain's clothes, you know. It says something about the darkness of the sinister hand or something.
What the hell? Let me see it.
No, not right now.
But Junpei wasn't going to get to see it. From the other end of the hall, he heard Ace's voice.
Hey, Junpei, Clover, what are you two doing? Hurry up. Ace fucking interrupts everything.
Getting
It's-
mad.
Clover is like full of, is like basically a walking encyclopedia of the game right
I
now.
know. Clover shrugged.
I'll show it to you later, alright? Come on, we gotta hurry.
Before Junpei could protest, she was gone. Around the corner and off down the long stem of the L. A note? A note.
A note.
Junpei was curious. Yeah, a note.
L deck.
But there was something else that bothered him. From the look of that pocket, it doesn't particularly look like just a note. Jeez, what are you thinking? For crying out loud.
It's a big fucking pocket if it got the axe in it.
Yeah, right? Junpei did his best to convince himself that it would make sense later, and ran off after Clover. Ooh. Junpei pushed through the door and found himself in a large room with a large set of stairs. The big stairs. So this is where it ends up. Just like it says on the map. It was just what he'd expected to see after reading the map. His I see after reading the map himself meant that Ace had probably realized the same thing. Ace? Did he head down? He put his hand on the handrail and leaned over to look down. Oh, there he is.
Look, the 4 others are there too. And
Not-
not just Ace. Santa, June, Seven, and Lotus as well.
Really?
Let's join them.
Junpei and Clover glanced at each other and hurried down the stairs. They reached B deck at the same time.
Jumpy, Clover.
June's face was excited, I guess. Something had happened, that much Junpei could tell by simply looking at her. What's up? Given their situation, he was not inclined to be excited about sudden developments. June, however, couldn't contain herself.
We found it.
Hey!
We found it.
Found what?
We found it.
We found
We found it. Oh my god.
What did you find?
The last door.
The Last Door, isn't that a
We
video
found
game?
door
Yes, it's a-
9.
It's a horror game, right?
We found door 9.
I think so. What?
Come on, just follow us. We'll explain on the way. If you had been paying attention during the other storyline,
Yeah, the
you
other
would've-
ending.
you would have known where it is.
Okay. Seven turned and jogged off down the stairs.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, right.
Well, if that's the case.
Wait for me.
We should get going as well.
The rest followed.
Let's all say that we're going, and then we should go.
Jumpy. We finally made it.
The relief and excitement in her voice echoed what each... This is a weird comma. Echoed what each of one of them felt. Yeah, it's finally time. Junpei wasn't quite ready to believe they'd really done it, at least not just yet. Still, if everyone said that it was door 9, then it probably was. We've reached the end. He could feel his heart racing. A mixture of anticipation and fear ran through his veins, and he could feel his legs shaking. He was doing his best to maintain a sense of healthy skepticism, but he couldn't deny that the prospect of escape was an exciting one.
Whoa. Let's go.
But something's bothering me. Only 3 to 5 people can go through the numbered door. 7 of us are on our way to door 9. That means that, best case scenario, there'll be 2 of us who have to stay behind. 2 people. Is there a way? Junpei looked over at the clock. 4:30. We've only got 90 minutes left. I got no time to wonder about it now.
Hey, Junpei, June, what the hell are you two doing? Hurry up!
Santa's voice jolted Junpei out of his reverie.
Let's go, Jumpy.
June took off down the stairs, jogging as quickly as she could. Yeah. Junpei followed. Kadek.
They found Donna, but they haven't explored the other room.
We didn't go to the forest of knowledge of the naval.
I
ship.
know. But then again, I mean, in real life, if this happened, we found door 9, I'd be like, well, we're good.
We're good.
As a group, they piled onto the elevator and rode impatiently down to the E deck. It looked familiar, considering they'd been there before. There was a metal grate between the two elevators. Seven grabbed hold of it and began to talk.
I know I told you I'd explain it earlier, but honestly, there ain't much to explain. After we split off from you guys, the four of us got into the elevator on the left, and that took us to the other side of the grate. After that, we headed down another hallway. It took us towards the bow, and eventually to the number 6 that you two found earlier. We opened it and kept going. There was another locked door behind it like usual, but this time we had to complete 2 different areas before we could unlock it. Once we were through that door, there was another hallway that went the other direction, towards the stern.
So, on your way, you found the elevator.
That's right.
So, in other words, you kind of did a lap, huh? You came from that side to this side.
Yeah.
With that settled, Junpei looked around. So, where's the number 9 door?
Over here, follow me.
Seven began walking.
Oh, he does have really heavy footsteps.
Again, weird comma. Seven began walking down the hallway that lead toward the stern. It should be LED.
Oh, yeah.
Pain in the ass.
Light emitting diode.
Junpei and the others broke into a jog to keep up with them.
By the way,
They had been walking for a while. June in silent step with Junpei when she spoke.
you know, it's because of Santa that we are all here right now.
Huh?
That all 7 of us are going through door 9.
Hmm?
You don't get it? Santa, 7, and Lotus? What's their digital root?
3 plus 7 plus 8 is 18. 1 and 8 and 9. 9. It's 9.
That's right. They could have just left me behind and kept going if they wanted to.
But they didn't.
Yes, because Santa wouldn't let them. He said, we can't leave June and the others behind. That's why we went looking for you guys.
And then you got on the elevator and went back to the central staircase.
That's right.
Well, I wouldn't have called that one. That Santa would be the one to stick up for you, I mean. Junpei felt his eyebrows knit as he considered that.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
Perhaps June had sensed Junpei's concern.
I don't mean 7 and Lotus said they wanted to leave me behind. We were just talking about it and Santa objected to it first.
Is that so? Junpei was about to respond when 7 suddenly stopped.
We're here.
In front of them stood a door. So is this?
Yeah.
Junpei couldn't see 7's face, but he could see him nod. There's no other place for us to go?
Nope, just look around. There's a big old iron wall at the end of the hallway. The other hallways on the left and right are blocked by metal grates.
I see. It looked as though 7 was right. The door in front of them was their only choice.
Alright, let's get moving.
He pulled open the door and walked in. Junpei took a deep breath and followed. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh! It appeared they'd been telling the truth. No way! The first thing Junpei saw as he entered the room was the number. 9. Like all the others, it was a rough thing made of red paint. The door it decorated sat on the back wall of a rectangular room. Oh! Junpei ran up to it. The 9 door. It was a large double door with powerful styling. Something about it was almost majestic and made the red paint look especially garish. We're finally here, performing for you.
Wow.
Junpei grabbed the handle and shook. It didn't budge, but then he hadn't really expected it to. The red was bolted to the wall next to the door. Its display read vacant. No doubt about it. This is door 9.
Really, Junpei? What clued you in? The
I
giant
mean,
9?
well, you never know if the bracelet's off if it's truly dead. Ha. Finally. This is the last... Junpei felt a flood of emotion wash over him. He felt a chill down his back and his chest tightened even as his blood began to boil. Jeez. There was a moment of complete silence.
Junpei, look behind you.
He turned around. Behind? What? Junpei could scarcely believe what he saw. Why? A door and a 9? Oh no! And that the coffin.
Mm-hmm.
There's another one. Hey, what the hell? What the hell is going on here? His words came slowly, and his brain struggled to understand what he'd seen.
Junpei's brain struggles a lot.
Right? On shaky legs, he made his way to the second 9. It was a small door, set parallel to the door they'd come through, but in the other corner of the room.
The box said there would be 3 9s.
9. There was no mistaking the number, and if any more proof was needed, a red was bolted to the wall near the door. There's a red here, too. That means... And of course, it won't open. He grabbed the handle and shook the door, not because he expected it to open, because he had to make sure it was real. But why? Why the hell are there 2 doors? It was Ace who spoke first.
Oh, good. I get to talk.
Yeah, right?
Do you think perhaps one is the right door and the other is the wrong one?
Thanks, Ace.
Lotus was skeptical. I don't know about that. That seems unlikely.
What makes you say so?
Well, think about all the rooms we've been through so far. They're full of puzzles, but there are always hints about how to solve them. I'm pretty sure there aren't any rooms where we just had to go with our best guess and leave it to instinct to solve the puzzle. Do you really think that at the very end of the game, Zero's going to suddenly throw in something that depends entirely on luck?
Then you're saying there's some sort of hint in this room.
No, I don't think there's any hint anywhere in here. I searched it very well when I was in here before. I didn't find anything that might have been a hint, though.
Well then that means...
Yeah, both of these are the right door. I mean, if you think about it, Zero never actually said there was only one door with 9 on it.
It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Well, an exit. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9. Junpei began to mutter to himself. So if there are 2 number 9 doors, if we split it up right...
That's not gonna work.
Junpei blinked and looked up at Clover. She held out her hand.
You've got a notebook and a pen,
my
right?
God,
Can
here
I
we go
borrow
again.
them?
Yeah, here. Slightly confused, he pulled them out and handed them to her.
Actually, I guess it makes sense if Clover was the one who played the nonary game before when she was a kid, then she must know all the combinations already.
Look at this.
Clover opened the notebook to a blank page and set it down on the desk. Everyone else gathered around her and watched as she wrote down a series of numbers.
You get it. The numbers on the top are a combination of the digital root of 9. The numbers at the bottom are people who don't fit in. There's only 8 possibilities if you split into 2 groups of 3 or 4 people. So...
If 3 people go through the door, then 4 are left behind. If 4 go through, then 3 are left behind, right?
Yeah.
Clover nodded, almost as if she were pleased with herself for solving a difficult math problem.
No way.
Well, the room went very quiet. Silence lay across everyone like a thick, heavy blanket.
So if people were paying attention at this point, if there had been all 9 people still around, then the 1 and 8, 2 and 7, 3 and 6 and 4 and 5 could pair up, and the 9th man could go with anybody.
Yep.
So if all 9 people had gotten here, then 2 people could have gone out of 2 pairs of doors.
Yeah.
I meant 4 and 5.
Yeah. No one spoke. Their faces were blank. Come to think of it. Desperate for something else to look at, Junpei turned his eyes to the room around him. We're really not going to bring up the giant-ass coffin?
We didn't the last time.
What is this room? The walls were covered with candles. The wavering flame made the shadows of Junpei and his companions look as though they were dancing. Yeah, they're lit candles. 2 rows of wooden pews filled most of the room. It looks like it's set up for some kind of ceremony. But what kind? Between them was a strip of rich red carpet. The carpet ran straight through the room, ending at the door that pointed to the stern of the boat. At the other end of the carpet... Oh yeah, now that I notice it, look at this giant-ass centerpiece. Is that an altar?
I mean, to be fair, like their focus is entirely on the main door and like thinking that they're finally going to get out of the ship.
Yeah. It was a recessed space set into the wall between the two other doors. Sitting on a raised section of the altar was a coffin. A coffin. A coffin. Nope, I got nothing. Yeah. A coffin. Wheezy. No. No, it couldn't possibly be. But if it wasn't, then whose body occupied
It could be empty.
Yeah, that's okay, the coffin's empty.
Yes, that would be the best.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was as far as Junpei wanted to pursue that line of thought. He decided not to think about the coffin for the time being, but it's clearly got that electronic thing on it.
Junpei is like, his brain is full of dead bodies. He's
right?
reached his maximum capacity of dead bodies.
Could somebody else think about the body? At that moment, Seven spoke. There was an edge of humor to his voice, but it was forced.
Okay, I give up. I figured if we sat around here long enough, someone would volunteer, but I guess nobody's got the guts to do it.
What are you talking about? Junpei didn't understand, and he wasn't the only one.
What? You guys didn't figure it out yet? Fine. Let me enlighten you. Clover was mostly right with her little explanation earlier, but she missed something. She wasn't really wrong, she just... screw it, let me just write it out.
Seven snatched up the notebook and began to write in it. Everyone else clustered around him, desperate for a look.
If you're trying to leave with a group of 3 and a group of 4 and get everybody out, Clover's right. But there's another way. Only one combination, though. If you split us up into groups of 3, 3, and 1, you can make this combination. It's important because, like, Snake is the 2 bracelet, so 7 is his pair, so you should be able to make a total that makes sense if you leave him out.
Wait, this means...
Don't get me wrong here, I'm not trying to copy Ace or anything like that. Even if he hadn't been the hero back in the big hospital room, I'd still be saying the same thing.
The same thing? Are you saying?
Yeah, I am. I'll stay behind.
The
same 4 people.
Why are you acting so heroic all of a sudden? Are you some kind of idiot? Lotus was the first to speak. That in itself was a little strange. She'd reacted much differently when Ace had volunteered. I'm completely against this. I'll be goddamned if I'm going to have to owe you for getting out of here. The rest of them began to speak all at once.
I'm against it too. I don't want to leave Ace behind, and I don't want to leave you either. I don't like this idea. There's got to be some other options.
I disagree as well. I can't say I care much for you being the hero.
Finally, they quieted down. Junpei looked at Seven. I was okay with you leaving. Well, there you go, Seven. Proposal denied. Clover's right. There's got to be a better way than this. Seven made some noise that was somewhere between a derisive snort and a cough. Perfect.
Doesn't make any sense.
He was doing his best to pretend they were making a foolish decision, but Junpei could see the twinkling of water at the corners of Seven's eyes.
Hopefully,
even in text, it's doing it wrong.
The inner corners.
That was when Santa spoke.
Whoa, hold on a minute. I haven't said anything yet.
Until then, Junpei hadn't realized that Santa had stayed quiet for the whole discussion of Seven's fate. Something in his voice made Junpei uncomfortable. Are you agreeing? You want to leave him here? Santa shook his head.
Nah, I'm against it. I don't want to leave Seven here alone.
Then I don't see how it matters.
I said alone.
Huh?
I said I don't want to leave Seven alone.
Huh? There was a dull shine in Santa's eyes. They were cold and hard. Junpei felt himself shiver. What the hell are you...
What? Don't you get it? I can't leave one person behind. I need 2 more. 3 people, including Seven. I'll be leaving behind 3 people. That's my proposal. No? Those are my orders.
What do you mean, orders? What the hell makes you think you can order us around? Who the hell's gonna listen to you?
You all will. In 3 seconds, you won't have a choice.
Damn, so we better choose quickly.
Damn, what happened?
What?
Too late, Junpei.
3, 2, 1.
Surprise! What? Santa was so fast, Junpei could barely see him. When he moved, it was almost like watching a dance. His feet moving like lightning. He spun and...
Ah!
Jeez.
Whoa.
He had June.
See? I told you.
This is what happens if you don't do the room that has the gun in it.
Oh, wow. His lips curled into a cruel, mocking smile. Huh? What? A shudder traveled the length of Junpei's spine. His chest froze, and he could feel his breath go stale in his lungs. Nothing made sense. Junpei felt as though his head were about to explode. Santa's sudden change in attitude, saying that he needed 2 more? The gun in his right hand? A revolver. Santa had grabbed June from behind and pressed what Junpei's shaken brain identified as a revolver roughly against her temple. Why? What the hell is that? Where on earth had Santa possibly found a gun? Junpei's questions roared in his mind, but his mouth refused to ask them. Seven spoke, almost as though he had sensed Junpei's confusion.
The gun's from the other room.
What room?
One of the rooms behind door 6. I should have known he was going to do this. I should have taken the gun.
Heh, what's too late now, fat ass?
Damn it.
A mixture of fury and frustration twisted Seven's face, and he glared at Santa. Santa, for his part, didn't so much as flinch. The corner of his lip twitched into a slightly wider smile. Then the smile faded, and he began to move. He walked backward, dragging June with him. Before long, his back was resting against the door. On the wall next to him was the red. He put his hand on the scanner panel quickly, and then forced June to do the same.
Now, time for you to start following my orders. Ace Lotus, congratulations, I've chosen you to come with me. Put your hand on the red.
3 plus 6 plus 1 plus 8 is 18, which is 9. That was what Santa had meant when he said he needed 2 more.
Hey, you deaf? I gave you an order.
Santa's eyes narrowed to slits. He glared at Ace and Lotus. They stayed, frozen, like deer caught in the headlights of an oncoming car.
Right, fine. I didn't want to waste any bullets, but you guys just don't get it.
No sooner were the words out of Santa's mouth than his hand twitched, and the gun roared. What? A section of the floor exploded, scattering wooden splinters across the floor. A thin plume of smoke snaked out of the hole in the floor. Damn, he vaporized June, and that's all that's left. Ah! There could be no doubt that the gun was real and worked.
He really shot it? But why, Santa, why are you...
Clover's voice spoke of betrayal and disbelief.
Santa, I thought you were one of us. I thought we were friends. What? You know about the leaf birds and the 4-leaf clover.
Uh-oh. Santa's cheek twitched almost imperceptibly.
What the hell is that shit? I got no idea. You're lying. Shut up. Just shut up, you stupid bitch.
Language.
You want me to put a bullet in your fucking head.
Language!
Minty Mitz, this is... We're trying not to make this a rated M. Let's play, okay? Flecks of spit flew from Santa's mouth. His face twisted with rage. Clover recoiled, her eyes wide. When she spoke, her voice was very small.
Santa.
He snorted, then shook his head vigorously and turned to face Ace and Lotus.
Let's go. Alright, assholes. What are you still standing there for?
Fucking language!
Mitz, for real.
Yes.
Although, like,
Get over here. Scan those bracelets. I don't have all day,
the reason he chooses, like, Ace and Lotus is because this can't be a bad ending. He could have chosen arbitrarily Junpei and Clover as 4 and 5, and that would have done the same thing. You know, but you can never find out what's behind the 9 door in a bad ending.
Yeah, it's so frustrating.
What's the matter? You hearing starting to go? Going senile, maybe.
Hey.
Ace and Lotus still didn't move. It almost seemed as if they couldn't move. June's face was pale behind Santa's arm.
And she's crying out of the wrong sides of her eyes.
I noticed. Her eyes were wild and her chest heaved with every quick breath, like an animal cornered by a predator. Or by a gun. Yeah. Gah.
Gun.
Junpei's mind worked furiously. What were they going to do? Then he realized something. There was nothing they needed to do. There was nothing to debate. That's it. June's safety was the first priority. That much was obvious. Doing as Santa had commanded meant that she would be safe from at least 2 threats. She wouldn't be shot, and she would leave the ship alive along with Santa, Ace, and Lotus. There was only one thing for Junpei to do. It's the only way. He turned to Ace and Lotus. Please, go.
Huh?
No way.
Jumpy, what are you saying? You stay here, you're gonna be stuck, Jumpy. And so will Clover and Seven.
I know. But you don't need to worry about us. We'll figure something out. Right, Seven?
Right, you just leave it to us. It's gonna piss me off to do what Santa says, but...
Don't worry about me either. There's still something I have to take care of. No, you can't. Ace, Lotus, don't come over here. Don't worry about me, please.
June was almost crying. Almost.
Out of the wrong part of her eye.
Junpei walked around behind Ace and Lotus. He gently placed a hand on each of their shoulders. Please.
Don't be like this. Like
Yeah, it's very different heights. And pushed them toward the door. He put his hand on Lotus's shoulder and
Ace's.
below Ace's shoulder blade. Yeah.
Whatever he can reach.
They almost stumbled, then righted themselves and took another step. And another. And still another. And another after that one, too.
I don't hear the step sounds. They can't be...
Yeah, wait a minute. They turned around, and Junpei nodded. Go.
All right.
Fine.
If you insist, I will escape.
Right. Ace and Lotus turned around again and walked slowly toward the door where Santa was waiting for them. After what seemed like an eternity, they stopped in front of the door marked 9. Santa smiled.
Alright, now let's get those hands on the scanners panel. What's the holdup? What, you think I'm fucking around here?
Miss.
I don't give a shit about this girl.
Miss, I really... If this keeps up, we're not going to invite you back next time.
The red doesn't need a person, you know. All I need is the bracelet. You get it? Good. Now put your fucking hands on the scanner.
Your freaking hands.
Frickin' hands.
Your flippin' hands. This is Lex flippin' Luthor we're talking about here.
All his loaves of bread.
the 40 cakes.
Oh, and that's terrible.
I'm not gonna say it again.
He shoved the revolver harder against June's head, and she winced.
Be the one person in this entire game who doesn't repeat himself several times in succession.
I know.
Hurry up. Hurry
Fine.
Up. Fuck up.
Ace sighed, defeated, and placed his hand on the scanner panel. Lotus went next. Oh! Lotus glared at Santa and slammed her hand into the scanner panel.
Break it.
That's a great, out of context, like, Lotus glared at Santa. The 4th asterisk blinked on.
Good job. Now, Lotus, pull that lever.
Lever.
As soon as the door opens, you get your ass in there.
Your
Miss.
butt.
Try anything stupid and you know what happens, right?
Dumb.
Damn it!
Darn it.
Junpei could almost hear Lotus's teeth grind.
You found... Oh.
I'm just waiting for, like, a mummy hands to reach out and just grab him.
They found it.
They found it! The door slid open. Door number 9 opened at last. It opened with a low, powerful rumble, a drum roll, to welcome the chosen few.
Good, go.
Lotus and Ace walked through the door, their eyes furious but defeated. Santa waited until they were all the way inside, then hauled himself and June across the threshold as well. 6, 7, 8.
Later.
You unfound it!
Oh.
After exactly 9 seconds, the door swung shut. The gust of air it created caused the candles on the altar to flicker and die.
Oh no.
Oh.
What else to do?
Well, who was playing cards? The room fell silent.
We only got like 60 minutes at this point, right?
Junpei, Clover, and Seven had been left behind. Clover looked down at her hand, then traced with her finger the faint blue veins that crisscrossed them. Seven shoved his arms into the front of his overalls and scratched his stomach. No one spoke. Silence made the air feel thick and oppressive. Desperate for something, anything, to occupy his mind, Junpei walked to the larger of the 2 9 doors. He stood in front of it and looked at the red. It read engaged. Congratulations. He moved to the smaller door. The red read vacant. The digital root of the remaining people was 7. 5 plus 4 plus 7 equals 16. 1 plus 6 is 7. But I mean, we still have Junpei and Clover.
Well, you can't send 2 people into a room. It has to be 3 to 5.
Curses. There was no possible way for them to open a door with 9 on it. Wait a minute. You could grab the 0 bracelet.
But that
then you could take the 3 of them, but you still leave 7 behind.
Yes, but you can still do it.
You could also... So, whatever happened to Snake's body, because it has the 2 bracelet.
Go find it.
Maybe it's in the coffin.
And didn't it have the bracelet on it when we found the body? Isn't that the only reason?
Didn't it? Wasn't that the proof that it was Snake?
Yeah, so that's floating around somewhere.
Junpei touched the surface of the door. June.
Also, the 9th man's bracelet, if you ever found
That's true.
would also work in place of the 0 bracelet.
He thought about June. About Akane Kurashiki. Come to think of it, maybe that's what Clover has. The 0 bracelet.
Interesting.
Was she safe? That was all that mattered to him. If she was alive, if she had escaped this horrible boat. That was what Junpei prayed for. 7 came up next to him. He pulled off his hat, scratched his head, and sighed.
So, what do you want to do, Junpei?
What do you mean, what do I want to do? What can we do? 7 opened his mouth to respond when... That is so scary. A noise echoed through the room. Someone was pounding on something vigorously. It wasn't mechanical, it was certainly human. Junpei and 7 looked at one another.
What the hell is that?
Shh, quiet.
Clover motioned to 7 to be quiet. Thanks. She put one finger to her lips and closed her eyes in concentration. That is so scary. And I love how they're conspicuously not showing the coffin. The 3 of them listened, trying to determine where the sound was coming from. Where is it coming from? Oh my god. What a nightmare. Could it be?
Hey, I think it's coming from this coffin.
You're right.
Let's open it. But there's a keypad.
But how?
What are those muscles for? For show?
You're telling me to force it open?
Just shut up and try. Junpei and 7 grabbed hold of the coffin. They tried to get a good grip with what little purchase they could find and pulled with all their strength. Damn it!
Man, it won't even budge.
Oh yeah, there's this. There was some sort of keypad attached to the coffin. Its purpose would not have been difficult to determine. Their eyes were almost immediately drawn to it.
Not another one.
Yeah, looks like it.
Do you think we have to put in the right password for it to open?
I think so. The noise wasn't stopping. That is so unnerving.
It's like we have to figure out how to open this coffin while someone is banging on it.
Oh my god. In fact, it was getting louder. Whoever or whatever's inside this thing wants out, and now. Therefore, let's not open this.
We should open it?
Yeah, we should leave.
Question mark? I know that. But how?
Without a passcode, I don't think there's much we can do. They couldn't even tell how many numbers the passcode needed to be.
Isn't there a hint somewhere?
Well, let's look for one.
No way. Is this a puzzle room?
We'll find out.
Unfortunately, there didn't seem to be anything near the coffin. Well,
you're really good at asking a question that's answered immediately by the next line of text.
Clover ran to examine the pews, and 7 investigated the desk, but they turned up nothing.
There's nothing here.
Not making this easy, are they?
The sound still wouldn't stop. It wasn't a noise that belonged in that room. What's the passcode? What am I supposed to do? Shouldn't it be supposed to do? How can we figure it out? I need something. Ooh, look at that.
That anime.
It just jump scare opens like, ah!
That'd be terrifying.
What? Is that an ending?
It is an ending.
Not
That's an
bad.
uncomfortable ending, though. It's
That
like,
is extremely-
that's it. Like, oh my god.
Oof.
So,
Unfortunately, that's the wrong answer. Actually, I'm Santa. What?
What?
Are you just gonna give up just like that? This is... Whoa, what? That was a weird way to end the game. Kind of end, maybe. Now, it is time. Let our game begin. Did that unlock, like, the ability to do the true ending?
no.
Okay. I guess I'll save, and we'll see what we get from it. What did this thing unlock anyway? Oh my god, that's
The-
so
Oh my
creepy.
god.
The coffin ending.
Ugh. Did it.
Uh,
Well, it wasn't miserable, so I can't
Oh.
complain that much.
So you can see that you have all of these unlocked except for
Oh.
the very end. There's something
Yeah,
there.
there's something I missed.
There's nothing after it, right?
So I guess there's something that implies that... Well, I guess I got these, too.
Mhm.
And this? Oh, this must be the problem, then.
So I
And
think
this?
for that path, all you really are trying to do is like make sure you're on it more or less.
Okay, so this is gonna be some option, I guess, I have to choose?
Right, so this other bad ending that you could have gotten, you get that if you haven't passed all of the marks.
Okay.
So like getting to this coffin is important, but to do that you have to have cleared all the previous thresholds, which includes giving Clover the bookmark and doing a whole bunch of
Yeah,
other
so I guess I
stuff.
shouldn't have
So
done that.
if you had taken any other room early on, and then you had also gone here, you would have gotten that other ending on the side.
I guess we'll have to do that next time. But for now, it's time to stop the installment.